It's meme time, it's meme time. Gather all your friends, it's meme time. It's meme time, it's meme time. The only cure for sadness.
Ichigo goes back to school the very next day with special medication to help heal his wounds. As he gets there though, no one remembers Rukia. Right after school, to his surprise, Ohime walks towards him as well, and asks why no one recalls Rukia Kuchiki. Ichigo then explains the entire situation to her, and she clears Ichigo's anxiety, and even gives him the one final push he needed. After this, Ichigo goes to Kisuke's shop and begins his training. Meanwhile, in the Soul Society, Renji decides to talk to Rukia while she is in her cell. She is going to be executed at this point, and she is simply teasing Renji. Renji brings up the idea that she could ask Byakuya to save her, after all he is already on his way to headquarters. This is where Rukia looks at Renji and says he will probably kill me himself. We then see Ichigo in his first training assignment. Kisuke takes Ichigo's spirit out of Ichigo's body. However, since Ichigo is no longer a Shinigami, it's just a simple human spirit connected with a chain. This first assignment is basically just to help Ichigo gain endurance. Pretty much he must simply knock out before he is knocked out by one of Kisuke's subordinates, named Ururu. They fight each other back and forth, but to no avail. Ichigo ends up accomplishing the assignment though eventually by surviving a simple kick from Ururu. To celebrate, Kisuke immediately has Ichigo's chain cut to begin lesson 2, immediately starting the process that turns a soul into a hollow. Meanwhile, Chad and Ohime begin their own lessons from Yoichi so that they can go to the Soul Society to help Ichigo. While this is going on, Ryu is training himself. The training cannot be witnessed by anyone and was given to him by his dead master. Meanwhile, Ichigo is thrown inside of a giant hole and his arms are binded together using a Kido spell. The second training lesson is for Ichigo to get out of that hole. Ichigo is given exactly 72 hours until he will turn into a hollow thanks to the special gas that stimulates the process. Over the course of the next 70 hours, Ichigo is constantly trying to run above the hole, however he constantly falls and fails. After 70 hours, the hollow process does begin and Ichigo awakens in his inner world. In this inner world, there is a strange elderly man standing on this pole-like thing. He tries to say his name to Ichigo, however the name was unable to reach Ichigo's ears. The world is flipped upside down when Ichigo suddenly begins to fall. The spirit suddenly rushes down to Ichigo, explaining that Byakuya only took the powers that were given to him from Rukia. He failed to notice Ichigo's own Soul Reaper powers. Ichigo falls into this big giant pit that has boxes falling as well. In this pit, he uses a technique that allows him to see a bunch of ribbons that are pretty much Ryatsu based, and he looks for the red one as he had learned that in his encounter with Uryu. Finding it, he pulls it out, and beside him the spirit is telling him to pull him out quicker, implying that this spirit is his Zanpakuto. As Ichigo reawakens in the normal world, he is once again a Shinigami. Ichigo has what appears to be a hollow mask on him in the normal world, making Kisuke, Tessei, and the two brats think he might have become a hollow. After all, the Ryatsu was so powerful that it destroyed insanely high level Kido. But as Ichigo took off the hollow mask, he proved to Kisuke that he passed the second task. However, his Zanpakuto was still only a hilt as Byakuya had destroyed it. This is where Kisuke proposes the third lesson. If Ichigo knocks off his hat, he wins. Meanwhile, in the Soul Society, Rukia has officially been found guilty and is set out to be executed in only 25 days. This information was given to her by Byakuya Kuchiki, and as he exits, two fellow captains appear behind him, Gin Ichimaru and Kenpachi Zaraki. The two kind of provoke Byakuya, and Kenpachi is prepared to fight Byakuya. Luckily though, Gin ends up wrapping Kenpachi up and takes him and Kenpachi away, apologizing to Byakuya. Back in the world of the living, Ichigo is still training with Kisuke. Ichigo thinks they cannot be cut because Kisuke is not Shinigami, however he did not realize that the blade Kisuke held was a Zanpakuto. This is where Kisuke says, "Wake up, Benihime, the Red Princess," awakening his Zanpakuto. As Ichigo and Kisuke fight back and forth, Kisuke cuts his hilt of a Zanpakuto more and more until Ichigo only has a handle remaining. Kisuke then looks at Ichigo saying if he had courage and fights him, he will kill him. This is where Ichigo begins to kind of freak out a little bit and starts to run away. However, Ichigo is stopped by his Zanpakuto spirit, and for the first time, Ichigo learns the name Zangetsu. Ichigo then accomplishes lesson 3 in a single slash and passes out on his Zanpakuto, falling asleep. At the same time, Uryu then finishes his training, same for Ohime and Chad, and the group is now ready to go to the Soul Society. The following day, Ichigo spends it with his family and friends to see them one last time. Ohime actually does the same and catches up with Katsuki as they think back on their past memories together. Back to the Soul Society, the research department just discovered Rukia's Gikai and realized exactly who had crafted it. Only one man could have had that kind of skill, the man who had just finished his portal to the Soul Society, Kisuke Urahara. Ichigo, Ohime, Chad, and Uryu all end up receiving the same message to go to Kisuke. However, before Ichigo leaves, Isshin gives him like a talisman that Masaki, Ichigo's mother, gave Isshin a long time ago. Ichigo takes it and then they all arrive at Kisuke's shop. Pretty much the problem with going to the Soul Society was that Ohime, Chad, and Uryu need their human physical bodies, so they need to go through the Soul Society using this matter converter. On top of that, the gate can only stay open for 4 minutes at most. On top of all, there is a restrictive current that will paralyze invaders called the Koryu. Everything will become hopeless if any part of you is entangled in it. Despite this new information, they all already made up their minds, so they just decide to run through the portal anyway. This marks the end of the Substitute Shinigami arc.
A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. If that means that I stand here and I fight you, my bones may shatter, doesn't matter, Rukia's in my hands. I'll save her even if my life must end.
Stand back, the time has come, the judgment's been decreed. Rukia's life will end, so says Gotai 13. There's nothing now to do, just wait and meet your fate. Sister, now your time is at an end.
A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. Execution seems harsh, but oh well, no. I'd save you if I could, but Rukia, try to understand. I can only do so much, I'm just one man.
Ranchi, listen up, you don't have to spend your energy on me, it's best that I let it end. Everyone has suffered and it's all because of me. This is what my fate should be.
A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. Sword strikes call out to the memory of you. My heart is pounding, but this path I choose. This guy's psychotic, I think that he loves this abuse. My bones may shatter, doesn't matter, Rukia's in my hands. To save her I will fight until the end.
L is for lovers who love one another. A is for ass, of which I like to eat. U is for you're the only one for me.